So can we kind of like dig into one of these? Like, can we dig into
Sure.
the pink and blue thing and
Yeah,
how
and we
this
can
all got
start.
started?
Yeah, we can really start digging anywhere you want.
Okay. Well, I'm
Yeah,
curious about the white dresses too, because I've maybe seen photos of kids in
sure.
white dresses and stuff, but never,
Yeah.
I've never really thought of that, and you don't really see that much anymore today.
No, no, it's that's pretty much gone completely out, even for little girls.
Hmm.
But it used to be that was baby clothes. I mean, the way parents today would put little kids in a onesie, you know, it was a one piece thing. You had
Hmm.
lots of them. Um, and it used to be that if you were going to have a baby, you had like stacks and stacks and stacks of these little white cotton dresses.
Huh.
They're the main reason for it was because back in the day, white cotton, it's washable. You don't want to use any kind of colors because colors weren't that fast. And in order to really clean clothes like a baby dress, you'd boil it, which would fade the colors and make them run.
I
So
see.
white cotton makes the most sense.
Hmm.
Um, for changing diapers and that sort of thing, a dress makes a whole lot more sense than anything with legs.
Yeah. Good point.
It does. It is. I mean, the equivalent today, and what I see parents do today, they don't wear dresses, but they'll have the kid running around in a t-shirt and diapers. Well, a
Hmm.
t-shirt on a baby is just a dress, but they
True.
don't. But you don't think of it that way. It's okay. It's a shirt. If you called it a dress, there might be people who'd be freaking out, but it's the same, functionally the same as a dress for diaper changing, right?
Yeah.
So the dress is replaced initially by shorter gowns and things like that, and just tops. And now it's just t-shirts.
I see.
So, but yeah, there was no difference between a dress for a boy baby and a dress for a girl baby. A baby was a baby. It's
Yeah.
very, very normal in the when people are writing about babies in the late 19th, early 20th century, whether you're talking about advice books or columns in magazines or people writing about their own baby, to refer to a baby as it
Oh, okay.
when they're little babies, because the main thing that I realized, I can't say I discovered it because it was there and I just realized it, was that there was a real aversion to looking at a baby and seeing gender, because the idea that a baby had gender meant that they were in some way really masculine, really feminine, which to people back then was more of an adult thing. So gender and
Okay.
sex are very closely tied. And you didn't start dressing a little boy differently from a little girl, or a little girl differently from a little boy. Either way, you dress them as babies at first when all they are is babies. And then the more they
Oh,
become like little boys and little girls, then you change the clothing to match their development.
I see.
Because
Okay.
if you do that too early, children will notice the difference. They'll become curious about it, and that's bad. So you
Right.
so you don't want children to be aware of gender or start asking uncomfortable questions about sex when they're too young. So say around the 1890s, it was very common. Most little boys would have worn dresses or skirts. They went from a one piece thing to maybe a two-piece thing until around the
Hmm.
time they started school when they were 5 or 6 years old. And
Oh, okay.
when they went off to school, then they'd get their first haircut and their first pair of short pants. Because again, they're
Short.
not men yet, so they don't get long pants.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So it all just started off, it was all just for practical reasons, really. And then there was just, so this thing of not wanting to kind of let the child know about gender and stuff, really, or identify with that, was that more, do you think, for the child's benefit, or just because like the adults in society
Didn't
didn't
yeah.
want to talk about it and stuff?
Yeah, it's probably a mix of the two, but they certainly, if you'd asked them, they would have been for the child's benefit. That they really thought that was a bad thing for children to be too aware of this too soon. They thought that one of the things that led to, I'm trying to think of the word they used, well, precociousness or sexual depravity of any kind, and that included homosexuality or masturbation or anything you want to mention. All these things were the cause of that was children being too aware of sex too early. that you try to
Oh,
keep
okay.
them innocent and not know about sex until they got older and you could actually explain it to them. But
Oh,
for a
okay.
3-year-old to know that boys and girls were somehow different, that was a bad thing. Next thing you know,
Okay.
they'd go looking.
Right. Okay. So that was kind of a way for them to kind
Yeah,
of like put their values and stuff, I guess, or kind of
yeah,
avoid it at the time
yeah,
for young
sure.
children.
Yeah, as parents always do. And
Right.
what changes, which is probably your next question, what changes is you have the introduction of psychology, specifically child psychology, they start saying, well, no, we think what causes, for example, homosexuality is boys attaching themselves too much to their mothers and wanting to emulate the mother. So we need to get them to start realizing they're boys and emulating the father sooner.
Oh, okay.
Ah, so now you see what happens.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting that it was like a real, so it was kind of a conscious shift by
Hmm.
everybody to do this for this outcome of boys not becoming homosexuals or whatever.
Right, right.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, and it's very explicit in the child psychology literature where they'll say something like, "You need to make a distinction, and the earlier the better."
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah,
I had just assumed it sort of evolved. I mean, it totally makes sense now you think about it, like that it just changed for some reason, but of course there's a reason that that would change like that.
yeah. But it doesn't change quickly, and that's the thing that was interesting to me is you actually because you still are going to have parents who are sitting there saying, "But I just don't feel comfortable. It doesn't look right to have this little boy wearing pants. It's not there for whatever reason." There,
Hmm.
there, there are going to be people who are the kind of progressive parents who read this literature and say, "Oh, wow, that's true. I need to do this." And then you're going to have the laggers. So, in the example of pink and blue, which is introduced just as a fashion thing, like in the mid 19th century, and it's not even consistent because sometimes you'll find what's in fashion is all kinds of pastels, and you do it according to the baby's complexion and hair and eye color. So a
Oh.
blue-eyed baby gets blue and a brown-eyed baby gets pink. And
Oh.
then you have there are different parts of Europe already that were doing some color coding by gender, but it was not consistent. So in Belgium and Switzerland, for example, and Catholic parts of Germany, it was blue for the girl because that was the color of Virgin Mary.
Okay.
And in other places, it was pink for girls and blue for boys. So if you look all the way through the 1930s, you're going to find both. You're going to find pink for girls, pink for boys. You're going to find it doesn't matter. You're going to find the eye color thing all over the place.
Okay.
So it takes a couple of generations to get to the point where by the time I was a little girl in the 1950s, pink was, I'd say, mostly a girl color, but not exclusively. Um, First birthday cakes. The most common color for first birthday cakes in the 1950s was pink for a boy or
Hmm.
a girl. So
Oh, okay.
it wasn't so exclusively female that a boy could not have it. And if
Hmm.
you've ever seen the Disney Peter Pan, that's early 50s, the
Hmm.
littlest boy in that, Michael, is wearing pink pajamas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now they re-released it a few years back and they remastered it, and they
No.
did. Yeah, they
Oh my
did.
gosh, did they really?
They did. He's
Oh
wearing
my
pink
gosh.
pajamas now. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, because
Crazy.
I guess people were freaking out, or somebody at Disney freaked out and said, "Oh, you can't have that."
Oh,
So
wow.
so what pink really doesn't become this kind of mandated feminine color where not only boys shouldn't wear pink, but you start seeing all this pinkification of everything for girls is pink, and if you're going to have a baby and it's a girl, the whole nursery is pink. Not until the mid 1980s.
Oh, wow, really?
Oh
That
wow,
late?
really? Yeah.
1980. Okay. Well, I was born in 93, so.